Welcome to LFC Transfer Hub. First news is Arne Slot welcomes Jeremy Frimpong problem after Liverpool injury return. Second news is Arne Slot confirms Florian Wirtz injury update as 5 Liverpool players to miss Wolves game. Now details. Arne Slot welcomes Jeremy Frimpong problem after Liverpool injury return. Liverpool fullback Jeremy Frimpong could return to the starting side against Wolves after coming off the bench against West Ham, but Arne Slot says his fitness will need to be managed carefully. Frimpong sustained a muscle injury against Qarabağ in the Champions League in January, but returned on Saturday, forcing an own goal to make it 5-2 to Liverpool on the day. With Conor Bradley out with a long-term injury, Liverpool is short of options at right-back. Joe Gomez started there at the weekend, but he too needs his minutes to be managed. That was his first start in around 2 months. Having Jeremy back is nice, but we have 3 games in 7 days, and you have to take that into account, especially when players come back from injuries, Slot said. We know the importance of every game. It is a challenge for the player, the manager, and the performance staff. I prefer to have the problem of managing his minutes rather than seeing him with the medical staff. Liverpool is the heavy favourite to beat Wolves, but the Midlands side has seen an upturn in fortunes of late. It has drawn with Arsenal and beat Aston Villa in recent games. Wolves are doing much better than their results show, Slot added. The whole season, they've hardly been beaten by a big goal difference. Recently, they've been getting points and a win against Aston Villa. It'll be a difficult game tomorrow. While Frimpong is back, his former Bayer Leverkusen teammate Florian Wirtz is set to sit out the trip to Wolves. He is hoping to be back for the Champions League visit to Galatasaray next week. The game probably comes too soon tomorrow and maybe the game at the weekend, Slot confirmed. We hope to have him back next week. Alexander Isak is currently out, but the Swede is working his way back to full sharpness and could return at the end of the month. Midfielder Wataru Endo, meanwhile, has undergone surgery on an injury. Japan manager Hajime Moriyasu said last week that his hopes of playing at the World Cup are not over, but his season is likely to be over. Conor Bradley and Giovanni Leoni are long-term absentees, with Frimpong and Gomez likely to get plenty of minutes, as long as they stay fit as a result. Arne Slot confirms Florian Wirtz injury update as 5 Liverpool players to miss Wolves game. Liverpool will be without Florian Wirtz for its trip to Wolves this week, after he sat out matches against Nottingham Forest and West Ham United with a back injury. Arne Slot has confirmed that the German is not ready to return yet, which he expected on Saturday. Wirtz was missed at Anfield, but Liverpool will have to do without him once again. The game probably comes too soon tomorrow and maybe the game at the weekend, Slot said. We hope to have him back next week. With Wirtz absent, Dominik Szoboszlai is likely to play as the most advanced midfielder once again. Curtis Jones, who was an unused substitute against West Ham, would be another option to come into the starting side. Alexander Isak is sidelined with a broken leg at the moment, but the Swede is working his way back to full sharpness and could return at the end of the month. Wataru Endo, meanwhile, has undergone surgery on the injury he sustained at Sunderland. Japan manager Hajime Moriyasu said last week that his hopes of playing at the World Cup are not over. Jeremy Frimpong returned from his latest setback last weekend against West Ham, forcing the 5th goal on the day. Conor Bradley and Giovanni Leoni are long-term absentees. Without Wirtz there to create chances in open play, Liverpool relied heavily on set pieces to get over the line last time out. Things went back to normal, mainly because I just said that we've created quite a lot of chances in the first half of the season that constantly did not go in, or too many times did not go in with being unlucky, Slot said on Saturday. We were a lot of times very close, and even today we conceded the set piece. They scored one and they could have scored a second one in the first half. That would have been the first one, but you know what I mean. Maybe one or two small details have changed defensively and offensively. I think we are set up slightly different. But the biggest reason is that things go back to normal. There was a period of time that we were 23 goals behind Arsenal in set pieces, including penalties, by the way. And we're still not only 3 goals away from them, but we've closed the gap a little bit. Although you never know what can happen this weekend with Arsenal, because I wouldn't be surprised if they scored 3 from set pieces this weekend as well. After Chelsea and Aston Villa lost at the weekend, they play each other on Wednesday. With a win against Wolves, Liverpool can move level with Unai Emery's side and Manchester United on 51 points. Second news is Arne Slot has new Liverpool problem to solve before Florian Wirtz injury update. When you spend $157 million, £116 million on a player, it is fair to assume that they will be pretty central to the plan. But what about when Liverpool is without Florian Wirtz? So far, this season has felt like a game of whack-a-mole. As soon as Liverpool has solved one problem, another one pops up somewhere else. And Wirtz is the latest example. There was a period in which Liverpool was conceding from every attack that it faced, before it then shored things up only to become desperately boring. Then, just when Wirtz was leading the charge in getting the balance right, he is now missing. Against Nottingham Forest, when he dropped out last minute, Liverpool was terrible even if it won. It was much better, though still with plenty of improvements to do, against West Ham, but lacked an attacking spark in open play. Wirtz is not expected to play against Wolves on Tuesday, and if he does miss out, then someone else will have to step up. Though Liverpool scored 5 times against West Ham last time out, it was largely uninspiring. I was just standing around your colleagues and people said, well played, well played. I said, in my opinion, we've played better this season, Arne Slot admitted. We played okay to good, so we were okay to good, but it wasn't the best game of the season. We've played better when we've lost, and we've played better when we conceded set pieces. Liverpool was clinical, a good thing, undoubtedly, but it needed to score those chances from corners because it lost control in the second half. If it didn't have such a lead, the result could have been very different. Without Wirtz, Slot needed his wingers, Cody Gakpo and Mohamed Salah, to step up. Neither was as bad as at the City ground, but neither really took the game by the scruff of the neck either. Salah certainly didn't in open play, though his set-piece deliveries were excellent. Gakpo's deficiencies, meanwhile, were masked somewhat by his goal, which took a hefty deflection. Neither played especially well. Everything in recent times, when Wirtz has really come to life, has been channeled through the German. Against Sunderland, it was notable that even Salah, usually keen to be the main man, looked for him at the earliest opportunity. Wirtz is set to be missing at Wolves, and he might be out for longer than that. And even in the future, he is not going to be able to play in every single minute of every single game. So as a result, Liverpool needs to answer another question. It has found stability at the back, in the main, in recent weeks, and on Saturday, it continued a real upturn in fortunes when it comes to scoring from set pieces. What is the plan from open play when Wirtz is absent, though? That is the next conundrum for Slot to solve, and against Wolves is likely to be the first chance to show it.